I feel like you are the therapist, I'm the client. You're sitting exactly like a therapist.
Like with the couch, a glass of
Yeah.
water. Should I bring napkins?
No, I feel like I'm the client and abhi slowly ये वाला ना ऐसे जाएगा and I will lie down. Like I'm in a therapy session.
We will see who will therapize who at the end of it.
I think it's going to be me as a client.
Shinasa, can you do me a favor and introduce yourself?
Sure. Thank you so much for inviting me, Sai.
Of course.
And so it's been a while we have been thinking of doing this, right? And finally we are here today. And so a little bit about me. I recently passed my PhD Viva.
Woohoo, Dr. Shinasa.
Very soon, but I
Yeah.
haven't got my degree yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's been slightly over 3.5 years that I've moved to the UK.
Yeah.
Before that, I was in India. I'm from Assam, India. And I have been working as a counseling psychologist since the past 8 years now.
Wow.
I also have I also operate a mental health page on Instagram called MindBee. So at the moment, I try to remain busy working on that page, creating content, making videos and reels, and shooting myself and other things. And at times it gets a little embarrassing on the streets. But anyway, but yeah, I've been trying to keep myself busy at the moment since the UK does not make your life easy even after you pass your PhD. So at the moment, I'm currently looking out for jobs, and we'll see where I land.
It's so wonderful to have you. Anybody would be lucky to have you, like whoever is going to hire you in the future. So good luck with all of the bureaucracy and everything. Can you also introduce your thesis topic? Because when you told me about it, I was honestly so touched because I feel like the topic is so close to the kind of work I am trying to do with Roots, Hands, and Hearts, where I'm trying to. Anyway, I will let you introduce the topic of your thesis.
Right. So what I studied was how and what helps the South Asian women, the African Caribbean women in the UK to initiate their recovery from drugs and alcohol addiction. And what I found was actually it's very interesting in my head because back in India, I thought that the ethnic community, the Indian community, or the South Asian community in the UK, in the US, in the West in general, how they would be so different from us.
Yeah.
Modern, outgoing,
Sorted.
like, they're there. But it was so interesting to see how attached they are to their roots. In some way good, in some way not too good. And at times it gets very unhealthy. Things like addiction is a very stigmatized topic back home and even here.
Yeah.
So to understand how their recovery journeys has been, I compared it with the white group in the UK. And although things like stigma still exist in the white group as well, but these two ethnic communities, the African Caribbean communities and the South Asian communities, it's even worse. Back in India, I used to think that they would be so open regarding mental health or every stigmatized thing. But I was wrong.
That's not the case.
Yeah, I think back in India, people are much more aware compared to the groups here.
Yeah.
They're much more aware, much more willing to learn.
Yeah.
Of course, there are exceptions, but that's the difference that I saw. I wasn't doing the difference, from difference between India
India,
and the
yeah.
UK, but that's something I saw because I come from that background. I am one person from that community, and I saw that difference between India and the UK. And it was so interesting to understand that they are attached to their roots because that's the only thing that they have. Back in India, we have got everybody around us. We have people around us.
Yeah.
We have that same Indian mentality. We are all improving most probably at the same pace.
Yeah, and you're not in a culturally different space, right? Like,
Yeah.
you're not trying to culturally fit in, you're not trying to figure out the language aspect, right? Like, you're with your family, you're with your friends, you've not uprooted your entire life to figure out your career somewhere else.
Yeah, but that is the difference here. And it was so beautiful to understand how the intergenerational migration trauma, by that I mean, so for example, Indians who have migrated to the UK years and years ago. So earlier they were in India, the time when British was ruling India. So some people moved from India to Africa, another place by the same colonizers. British was also ruling that place.
Yeah.
And then from there, from Africa, they moved to the UK. So you see how, they have been migrating, and the kind of stories that have been passed from one generation to another, it comes with a lot of trauma.
Baggage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because those times were not good times for them.
Yeah.
We, when British was ruling India, and then they were ruling Africa, and then you end up coming to the place who are already ruling your own country.
Yeah.
So the kind of stories and the kind of baggage that was passed on from one generation, they came with a lot of trauma, and that still exists. So the interviews that took place, and the interviews were so heavy. They had so much of stories, so much of that willingness to break out of it, but then they are unable to do it because that stigma of addiction, of mental health, to think about that, why should we show our weaknesses in front of these people?
My God, yeah.
The ethnic communities here, they are very close-knit communities, everybody knows everyone. So even if you take a cab, the Uber driver would know your uncles and your aunts, your chachas and your dadas, everybody. So everybody knows everyone here. And because we already have this thing, right? Log kya kahenge, and it is so huge.
Yeah.
It is even more huge here.
Yeah.
And because everybody knows everyone, you keep yourself and your issues within those four walls of the house. You don't talk about it. And if you don't talk about it, how are you going to solve your problems?
Yeah.
Because your mom and dad inside those house, they are not aware of it. They don't know how to help you.
Yeah.
Because they have also not spoken about addiction.
Yeah.
All they know is addiction is chi-chi.
Yeah.
You don't talk about it. Keep it under the wraps.
Yeah.
Right? But it is not so in the UK. If you come out of your house, people are willing to help you. But you just don't know where to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't know whom to call.
Yeah.
There is no support. You don't see that support. But I know there is support available. But we just don't know where to go.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that. I want to go deeper into this and ask you some more questions about this in the second part of our conversation,
Okay.
Which is the hands. For now, we will talk a little bit more about your roots. I want to know what your childhood was like, who are the people you grew up around, who were some role models you looked at while growing up. So if you can share a little bit of that.
Yeah, you know, it's so new and refreshing to me because usually I am the one asking these things to my clients. But yeah, I think this is the first time I'm gonna talk about these things. Uh, Childhood was amazing. I had a very healthy childhood. Um, my brother, my parents, and they've always been there. My strongest contenders, my support system. And till date they have been there for me, and I always remember Abba, my dad, would always be home for lunch with me and my brother. He would come back from work, have lunch with us, and then go back to work again. And my mom used to work, so she used to come back in the evening, spend some time with us, do our work. But yeah, I think I had a very very happy childhood, a very very happy adulthood, thankfully. So that's my childhood. In fact, just this morning, I had actually posted my story. You might have seen that. So my mom is going to launch her handloom, the traditional Assamese mekhela that we wear.
Yeah.
So she's gonna launch it tomorrow, and I'm so excited. At the same time, I'm so sad that I am not there.
Yeah.
But that's the problem with us. When we stay so far away from home, we miss these big milestones. I wasn't there when when both my parents got retired. I wasn't there when they had to undergo major heart operations. I wasn't there when my friends got married, when they had kids. And these are big things in life, right?
Yeah.
And I missed out on everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something I don't feel good about, but I'm sure she's gonna do great. Everybody's around her.
Yeah.
And she's the iron lady, as I call her. She's so strong. She's so independent. I remember this one thing. My mom would, in fact, ask me that, how do you remain so strong mentally? And I'm like, it's because of you. She thinks that she's not strong at all, like just any other mom. She thinks that she's not strong at all, and she always needs her husband or me or my brother to do anything. But she's so oblivious to the fact that it's her. It's, everything comes from within her.
It's the other
We are,
way around.
yeah, we are just there to support her and push her, but everything comes from within her. She's the source of our motivation, our determination. She feels that she gets that that source of energy from me, but I feel I get it from her.
That's
I
very
think,
profound if you think about it.
yeah,
Isn't it? Like,
yeah,
both of you think you're getting it from each
each
other.
other. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
And
love
I
that.
think even now, she's almost 62, 63, and she's doing everything that maybe I want to do now.
She's starting her own.
Yeah, she started her own brand. She started her own Airbnb thing, and she's doing everything. And my dad is like, I just want to rest. And I was like, yeah, look at your wife. Yeah.
Shinasa, I can't tell you how happy it makes me when someone tells me I've had a good childhood. I've had a
Yeah.
happy childhood.
Yeah.
Like, as an adult who moved out of India when I was 24, I think up until then I hadn't really sat down and thought about how my childhood impacted me. The minute I moved out of India, it all came back to me. I think that's how it goes, right? Like, as long as you're living with your parents, you don't really have like a chance to sit and think about, oh, why am I like this? Or why do I do the things that I do? blah blah blah. And then you leave your home, all of a sudden you're independent, you're doing all these things on your own, and then you do certain things a certain way, and for the first time ever you're able to clearly see why some things are the way they are, and everything goes back to your childhood, the good, bad, and the ugly. I feel that way. Like, I could literally talk about how different things in my childhood has impacted the way I do things now. So, and most people I've spoken to have had like a childhood where things could have been better. Their parents did the best that they could, including mine. But there are some things that don't go exactly the way you would have wished or parents would have wished. So it makes me really happy to hear from you that you've had an excellent childhood and
Yeah.
like a happy childhood with
Yeah.
such amazing role models.
I completely understand what you're saying, but the slight nuance here is because we are talking about childhood. I have had amazing childhood. I used to play, and I was a great sports person. I used to get medals every year. I used to play a lot, and but what you are talking about is the adulthood, right? So of course, when I grew up, I also understood, okay, why things happen this way, why am I feeling this, or why am I be behaving this way. But again, I would like to go back to, because there are many times where I feel that maybe I am behaving very abruptly, I have a very short tempered, and I realize this. And to a very large extent, because of what I studied, have helped me to understand why things happen this way. Why am I behaving this way? Why is this thought coming to me? Why am I thinking about it so many times? Where is the source? What's happening? But of course, we are all humans.
Yeah.
We all make mistakes. The one thing that I am so proud of, that and I am able to do even today, is I'm able to talk to my parents about it, and they completely understand. And I very outrightly tell my parents that there are so many things I have learned from you,
Yeah.
from both my mom and dad. There are so many things I've learned from them, and there are so many things that I have learned from them unconsciously. They did not teach me how to show anger,
Yeah.
but I learned it by looking at them.
Yeah.
And I have told them with so much of love and respect that there are so many things I'm proud that I've learned from you, but then again there are so many things I've learned from you which are not good,
Could have
and
been
I'm
different,
I'm having to unlearn it now, and that is very difficult.
But they listen to you. They
Absolutely, yeah,
understand.
yeah, 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 yeah. And I am. That's what I mean. They have been, and I think my parents have also grown up with me. I know there were so many things they might not have been open about 15 to 20 years ago,
Yeah.
but today they are.
Yeah.
Because I have also made that effort to nurture them in a way that they are able to hear me out, just like the way I hear them. Even just like any other kid, I would yell and have fights with my dad, but we know, this is only going to stay for half an hour, and then after that he is going to laugh about it, I am going to laugh about it.
Yeah.
And that's it. But I really enjoy that time when Abba is also giving me his ear, that okay,
I wanna
okay,
listen
this
to
is,
you.
yeah, this is okay, this is what you have learned, this is what you're trying to unlearn, this is what you are going through. And I think they are my best friends. They are my best friends. Yeah, and I really enjoy that.
Amazing. And where in this journey of yours of growing up in Guwahati did you realize that you want to study psychology? Where did this aspect of your life come from?
Yeah, this has nothing to do with my parents, but so I had my cousins visit me lately, and I think I was in class 8 or 9 when she asked me to help her with some school cup project. She's quite elder to me. I think she was in her 12th standard, and I was helping her out with some school project, and I did not know what this project is about. So I asked her, "What is this?" She said, "It's psychology." I never heard the word. And I said, what's this about? She said, "It's about how humans think, what compels them to behave this way. It's all about the human mind." I said, "Oh, this sounds very interesting." And I I think it was more of me doing her project. She was least bothered about it. But then I did her entire project. I
How
just still
old were
remember
you?
I
Sorry.
was in class 8, or no, not even 9. I was in class 8.
Yeah.
Uh,
So about 12, 13 years old.
yeah, probably slightly younger than 13, maybe. And I remember the project was, "Who am I?"
Okay.
And as I told you, it's very difficult to introduce oneself.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to even think of who you are. I, me, myself. These three words. If you think as a lay person, you think that, okay, these are all the same words, but it's not the same. Even today, I don't know where am I. Like, where when I say I, where do I point towards? When I say me, where do I point towards? When I say myself, where do I point towards? These three words are not the same if you think from my perspective. We'll get to that
Okay. Okay.
some other day.
Okay.
But yeah, the project was on who am I,
Yeah.
and it was about her. She had some script and I wrote, and there was some drawings I did, I painted, there were some flowers I stuck and all of that. But then I really enjoyed doing that project. It was 95% my work.
Yeah.
She only did 5% of the thing, and then she gave it up. But anyway, so I think that's when I started to enjoy understanding it. And while I was doing the project, I would ask her, like, what is this specific theory about? What is this theory about? What does this word mean? Because it's a big word. I mean, I was in class 8. I did not know what the word means, because it's quite a difficult word for me when I was in class 8.
If you don't mind me asking, what's the age difference between you and your cousin? I just want to imagine.
4-5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she was in like early college, maybe.
Yeah. She was in her 12th standard.
Okay.
Yeah, when she did that project.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's when it happened. And I asked my dad, like, this is something very, well, I was very curious to know. My dad had no idea what this was about then.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah, read more about it. See if you want to pursue it." And I was
Spoken like a wise man. Read more about it.
Yeah. Read more about it. I didn't even know how to pronounce or how to write that word then. But then, he said, "Read about it." And I think that's when I thought, no, this is what I am going to study. I don't know if I'm going to be that person someday, or I would call myself as a psychologist, but I really wanted to study psychology, and thankfully I did.
Wow. It just feels like a moment of spark, and then you were like, this is it. And
yeah,
that's pretty cool. Shinasa, thank you so much for sharing all of those things about your roots and about the work that you did for your PhD thesis. I want to go a little bit more into the work that you do and the work that you did for your thesis. The topic itself is very sensitive, right? Like you said, within these ethnic communities, I think there is the stigma around addiction, around alcoholism. How did you navigate that? Because when you're doing research, you're needed to talk to people who are suffering through addiction. How did you manage to have these conversations? How did you manage to get around the sensitive topic?
So it took me a lot of time to look for the people that I interviewed. And clearly, because it is a very sensitive topic, on top of that, I was working only with women. So with males are allowed to drink.
Yeah.
But you are a woman and you drink, you're looked down upon. So because of that aspect, it became even more critical to look for the population for me to interview. I was very new to the UK then, and here nobody is going to handhold you and ask you to speak to these organizations. It's you are entirely left to do it on yourself. Which was that was a difference back home, the kind of education that we have had. And I'm like, I need some hand holding here, but no, you don't get that. So I reached out to over 600 organizations in the UK.
Wow. Okay.
And when I say 600, even my supervisors were quite stunned. I reached out to mental health organizations, I reached out to the domestic violence organizations, immigrations and addiction, female-only organizations, rehabilitation organizations, you name it. And clearly over 600 organizations. Only a few got back to me saying that we don't have the kind of people that you're looking for. And I would try to speak to them like, okay, why do you not have them? And most of them got back to me saying, because we don't think that ethnic communities, women from the ethnic communities are open to talk about it, and there is this huge stigma. That was one. The other one was, I don't think they go through addiction as much as men. By that they also meant that the white organizations thought that women from the ethnic communities don't undergo addiction.
Which is false.
Now let's look at the first one. Their response was, because there is a huge stigma and people are not open to talk about it. And I'm like, why? What have you done to break that stigma? Because that is the answer. We know there is stigma, but if I say, oh, there's stigma and people are not open to speak about it, so we don't go into it and we are looking at something else. But isn't that, your priority as well?
Yeah.
Like, break that stigma. What are you doing to break that stigma? We don't know. We tried to enter the communities, but we were asked to leave. Okay, what did you do about it? We just did not go.
Shocking.
Yeah, so I understand they are also helpless. They also might not know how to do it better, but maybe think a little deeper. And then I'm like, did you enter the communities with somebody who looks like them, who speaks like them, probably who speaks the same language, who has the same skin color, who understands, what's happening in the community?
Yeah.
As a white person, if you enter the mosque or the temples or the gurudwaras, people will anyway say, no, drinking, we don't have a problem in our culture.
Yeah.
It's the problem in your culture. Of course, British has a drinking culture and it's open. But the ethnic communities also have an addiction problem and it is under the wraps. But because they don't want to open up themselves, the ethnic communities do not want to open up themselves in front of the white people, they would just ask you to leave. But if you would have taken somebody or a staff from your organization who knows to speak that language, they would be slightly more comfortable to talk about it.
Yeah. Empathy, right? Like, how do you help them to trust you?
Yeah, and it is simple. Like, when you are going through a difficult phase in your life, so let's talk about the language that we use, right? we speak more than one language.
Yeah.
We both know how to speak in English.
Yeah.
But when we are hurt and we are
Yeah.
crying,
Yeah.
we would want to talk in our own language. We want
Mother
to
tongue.
share in our own language, right? We would feel more at ease doing that. It's the same thing, right? So probably, the organizations here who told me that they don't have the people that I was looking for. They didn't even have staff working for them from the ethnic communities, because if I am somebody going through addiction, I want to see somebody in in that building who can understand what I'm going through.
Yeah.
Because the British culture and the ethnic culture, for example, the Indian culture, they are very different. I need somebody to understand why we don't talk about it. I need somebody to understand why, as a woman, I was asked not to speak about it. I need somebody to understand why things happen this way back home.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally relate to what you're saying. Like culturally, I think the only way to build trust in your most vulnerable moments is to be able to relate with someone else.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I think that will
Yeah.
help you build
Yeah.
trust, especially if you want to talk about your worst aspects of your life, stuff that you're not
Yeah.
proud of.
And clearly, addiction could be a worse aspect of anyone's life.
Yeah, yeah.
You lose people, you lose yourself, you lose your health, you lose employment, you lose your job, you lose your career, you lose your education life.
Yeah. So tell me what happened after this. So you.
Yeah, so I reached out to them. In fact, I had also reached out to more than 300-400 people on LinkedIn, right? And LinkedIn would, and I used to send the same email, the short email, the note to
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
LinkedIn would block me every week, thinking that I was spamming people. Of course, in a way, I think I was, but I did what I had to.
Yeah.
But LinkedIn also was of great help. There were people who got back to me saying, you can reach out to this person, or I would be happy to do this interview, all of that. So yeah, LinkedIn was of great help.
Amazing. Okay.
So yeah, so that's how I got the people that I was looking for. It was difficult.
Yeah.
I interviewed nearly 50 people, and one thing that worked was my cultural background. Clearly, addiction is not something we are taught to talk about in open. But because I could understand where they were coming from, I understood how things worked inside those four walls in that house, because I also have somebody who was in active addiction and who is now in recovery. What also helped me was I could throw in some Hindi words here and there.
That's all. That's all it takes to
That,
like build
yeah.
trust.
So that helped me build trust. That helped them to build trust on me.
Yeah.
If it was, if I knew the person has Indian roots, throwing a few Hindi Urdu words here and there helped. If I knew the person was from Pakistan, Bangladesh again, throwing a few Hindi Urdu words here and there helped. If I knew the person was of Muslim background, again, that also helped me.
Yeah.
So it was all about being relatable, right? And it just took me 2-3 minutes to convince them. And clearly, most of them were also not. They did hesitate, but I think that worked.
And this is why representation is so important, especially in a country like UK, which has so much immigration. I talk about this all the time. There are multiple times you could be sitting on the tube and you could not even realize you're in UK because the tube is filled with people from literally all around the world. And
Absolutely.
how is mental health space not the same? Like, I feel like mental health should be the reflection of, it should be a subset of what your overall uh, population looks like. Do you agree? Like, if you have a 20% immigration from one cultural ethnic group, then your mental health system should also have similar
Absolutely,
representation.
absolutely. And to a very large extent, I think the health system in the UK is, most people might disagree with how great the health system is. I mean, we all know how the health system is in the UK. Quite slow. But when it comes to the representation aspect, I think they are trying to do a good job. But when we look at um, the mental health aspect, the addiction recovery services, for example, they're not really doing a good job.
So mental health wise, there could be more work done in terms of
Absolutely. I think we
representation.
need a lot of representation, a lot of representation.
For sure. Um, a bit more about your research itself. So, you did all of this research. I also know a part of your research was also the support group, right? Can you chat a little bit more about the support group and how does that work?
So, one of the good things that happened through my PhD was there were many, many women who told me during the interviews that I have not met any Asian woman or any ethnic woman in my support groups or anywhere who has also undergone addiction and who is also in recovery. But I interviewed so many, nobody knew each other. And so, because, and also they were from different parts of the UK, everybody, different parts of the UK. And so, some of them told me that it would be nice if, if I knew more people who is also in recovery.
Yeah.
It would be nice if I knew other Hindi speaking women who are in recovery. It would be nice if I knew any Muslim woman in recovery. It would be nice if I knew a mother who is in recovery, because being a mother with children also comes with its own problems when you are in active addiction or when you are in recovery. So people did not know that there are so many other women who are also undergoing the same thing. So I emailed everybody that, if you want to form a group
Yeah.
on your own. And it was this, so they came up with this name called SAFIR, SAFIR, South Asian Females in Recovery. And they're doing a great job so far. So they meet weekly, and it's a very close group. Men are not allowed, and you don't get to join the group in a moment. You have to like go through a process, because they want to
Intention.
it's intentional, and they want to really know that you are in recovery, because men are not allowed because it might be harmful in some cases. So I'll explain what I mean by this. There was this interview with one woman, and she told me that she had gone to these services to complain about domestic abuse. So she went to this service, and by the time her dad came back from home, he already got to know that she went to complain. And once the dad came back home, she was again harmed. So, and this is just one example. There are many. So they really want to make sure that men are away, because not every time men can help you. It might be more the other way around.
Yeah, you don't want to expose them to what triggers them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if someone wants to join that group right now, how can they join?
DM me, message me, and I will help you.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Just get in touch with Shinasa, whoever needs support, or if you know someone who needs support in this aspect, just reach out to Shinasa. Like, we will tag her page, we will tag Shinasa. So
Yeah,
she
if you
can
need,
help.
if you know anybody, any South Asian female who is in recovery from drugs and alcohol addiction, or who's faced domestic abuse, and you know they need help, let me know.
So a little bit more into this topic again. Now that you've completed your thesis, what are some support systems that are available in UK if someone is looking out for support, not just for ethnic women who are going through addiction, but just mental health in general, particularly for people of color or immigrants who've moved to UK? What are some things that are available?
I think for everybody in the UK, the first point of contact is always their GPs, right? But not every GP can help you. Most of them might not understand what you're going through. Most of them would be unaware that there are things like Alcoholics Anonymous, AA, that we say. Then there is NA, which is Narcotics Anonymous. CA, that there is, CA stands for Cocaine Anonymous. So there are these support groups. Not every GP is aware of that.
Because it's mental health and it's very different from what a
Ye-
physician would support
yes,
you with.
but
Yeah.
at the same time, it's very shocking how they can be not aware of it. And these are things that I've heard in the interview. So yeah, and because GP is always the first point of contact. If the GP is aware and they know what can help you, and I think that that would be great. But then there are a few organizations like BAC-IN, BAC-IN, which is situated in Nottingham in the UK. Then there are other organizations called Nilaari. Then there is No More Pretending. So these are organizations that are run by ethnic groups, and they work specifically for the ethnic communities in the UK.
Okay.
So far, they have been doing the real work, the core work. Because for the other organizations in the UK which are not working for the ethnic communities, for them, everybody is the same, white, non-white, they are all the same, but they fail to understand that one size does not fit all. But these organizations that I just named, they are working specifically for the ethnic groups, and each approach is tailored as per your needs. So yeah, they are, and they are doing amazing work.
Amazing. Thanks for sharing all that. We will also try to add some in the description and comments wherever we can, so people can go and find these organizations. Just one more question on that. What is next for you in terms of, like, I know you're trying to figure out your whole visa and everything, which will happen in meantime, but if you could pick and choose a job for yourself in UK, what would that be? What would you work in?
I want to be very honest with you. At this moment, I would really love to take my mental health page to the next level. So earlier, what we were doing was we recruited a lot of other psychologists, but at this moment, I don't, we are not doing that anymore because I also did not have the mental capacity to do it. But I think I want to revive that.
Okay.
And of course, that wouldn't require me to do a lot of legwork, but if that is not there, at this moment, I really don't know what I want to do. And I think that's absolutely okay. I'll probably take a little more time to think about it.
Yeah. So basically, you want to revive your page, start sharing mental health related content, and also start hiring freelancers, psychologists who
Yeah,
can support.
yeah, slowly and steadily. But apart from that, in the UK, I honestly have no clue. I'll probably take a few more months' time to figure that out, or also speak to a career counselor.
Yeah, all in
Yeah.
good time, right? Like you have done
Yeah.
an exceptional job with your thesis. Now it's time to like take a step back, chill a little bit, figure out what you want
Yeah.
to do, see what opportunities are there,
Yeah,
what inspires you.
it's actually when you say take a step back and chill. Honestly, my body has been able to do that, but my mind has not able to chill.
Yeah.
No, I think because it is the habit that has formed since the past few years,
Yeah.
and it's very difficult to break down that habit now. But I really need to chill.
It's a very interesting thing you said. I think this is where we slip into therapy from a conversation because I am exactly like that. I cannot chill. Um, I my mind is always running. Even when we go on a holiday, I'm literally like writing down questions I want to ask someone, or I'm doing research on who I want to talk to next. And I use the word chill a lot. Like my cousin was actually teasing me. Like she's like, your name should be chill. Like the number of times you say chill, but I don't
Yeah, but
chill.
you don't.
I don't chill at all. Like I just feel like, see, this is where I go into like my childhood trauma and everything because um, my family is very like action, action, action. Like keep doing stuff, and that's what defines my self-worth. So, and I enjoy doing it as well. I really enjoy working. I really enjoy doing like 30 different things. So I totally relate with what you're saying. What is take a step back and chill, right? Like who even does that?
Yeah, yeah, the mind is always preoccupied with something or the other. And every time, and I think for me, it has always been my PhD work. I mean, I knew I wanted to complete my PhD before I get married, which I almost did.
Yeah, just you got married in February and you finished your thesis in May.
No, I got married on the 8th
Yeah.
and I submitted it on the 24th.
Wow.
But I did not want to think about my thesis at all when I was
Were
home.
you successful?
I consciously had to remind myself that don't think about the thesis, because although I completed my work, but you know how it is, right? Because it's your child. My
Yeah.
PhD is my child, and I was constantly thinking about it. Even though everything was finished, I still couldn't click on that last button, done button. And I thought, no, there could be this one line which I maybe could rewrite properly, or is this one paper was left? Maybe I should read that paper,
Yeah.
or maybe I made some mistake. Maybe I should use this word.
Yeah.
So there were these things that kept on running in my head.
It didn't look like that. I was at your wedding, the way you were dancing and having fun. We could see none of that. So great job at like
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
showing the stress
Oh,
and
no, no,
just
no. Oh, no, no.
having
Yeah,
your
yeah, yeah. That's what I'm saying, right? Because I consciously had to do that. I wanted to enjoy my wedding, which I did
yeah.
thoroughly.
We all did, yeah.
Yeah, I think I want to get married again because it was so beautiful. But
Yeah.
anyway, let's not get
Yeah,
into the
yeah,
wedding.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Cool. I want to move to the last part of our conversation, which is hearts, before
Okay.
we go into our fun rapid fire.
Okay.
So, what have you learned emotionally or spiritually from the women you've worked with for your thesis?
Oh, resilience, because they clearly they have been through a lot, which you and I can't even think of. They have lost people, they have lost everything. They were almost on the verge of dying. They were into active addiction, they were into active prostitution, they were raped, they were abused. I mean, that was very difficult. I mean, and every interview was full of stories, was full of drama. And when I say drama, I mean with all good in intention. Um, there were such strong stories and such powerful women, and today they have worked their ass off. They are working as a therapist themselves because they have had those lived experiences, which is so powerful. They are working for people with mental health issues. They are working for people who have been through rehabilitation and who have served prison time. So they are working in their own ways to help those people who they were at one time.
They're like, we want to pay it forward.
Yeah, and they are all doing. Most of them are doing volunteering work. They are giving back to the society in whatever way they can.
Yeah.
And I think what I learned from them is resilience. Um, hard work is very, and I think that it it's there. I can see that, but I think it's to do with resilience, and they have they have pushed me to embrace myself also in a way. Uh, so there's this section on reflexivity in my thesis, which is
Okay.
also another very important bit of my thesis. And all my supervisors have really told me that this is a very beautiful part of the thesis that you have written. And I think it's beautiful because of them.
Can you share what that is?
So I was working as a therapist earlier, and I no longer wanted to work as one for a while. And one of the major reasons, or one of the major reasons was because I have this slight speech issue. And that really affected my confidence, the way I look at myself, because I've had this issue since I was a kid. People, and at that time, because awareness regarding speech or regarding mental health, emotional health wasn't really talked about. So my parents were also unaware of the fact that I had this, and I grew up with that. All my school life, my college life, my adult life, I had that. Again, there were times, there were these phases where it did not affect me, but then there were these phases where it affected me emotionally. So it was last year, it affected me hell lot. And I went through therapy, which was amazing, and that's where I realized how it feels to be on the other part of the couch, and it was blissful. And I realized that there were, and it's because of my speech and how I looked at myself. It affected my thought of not working as a therapist. So I wanted to hire other people who could do the job. And I would want to do that part of the job that does not require too much talking. Backstage. I
Yeah,
wanted
the
to be there.
management side
Yeah,
of
I wanted
stuff,
to be there. I did not want to show my face.
Mm.
And I did that. So basically, I was trying to run away from something that I love doing so much. So something that I wanted to do since I was a child, as a student. But now things happen in a way where I had to run away from it, which I did not want to, but unfortunately I was doing it. So the interviews helped me to think of it in a way that if they are able to do it now, after going through shit so much, what's stopping me? So those interviews and the therapy that I went through helped me to speak through it no matter what. Of course, there are some pauses, there are some words that I repeat in my mouth, but speak through it no matter what. We all have faults, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So, and this is mine, and I just learned to embrace it.
Yeah, it's who you are.
Yeah.
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 And that's also the part of your thesis that stood out, which is who you are.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I come back to this all the time. Like, I know authenticity is like a overused word, but
No, it's not, man. It's not.
it means so much, like being yourself.
Yeah, being genuine.
Yeah.
Being authentic. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry,
100%.
I cut you in between.
No. That's what I was trying to say. That it all comes down to that. Like, how do you succeed? Come back to who you are. Come back to your roots. Come back to who you are as a person, and somehow it lets you make a path of your own and move forward. So I love that. That's what stood out in your thesis for yourself and for whoever was reviewing your thesis. Is there a moment from your either from your research or from your life in India when you were working that made you realize that you're in the right path and you're like, this is the reason why I do what I do? Is there a moment that comes to your mind? Sorry.
A moment that makes you realize that this is who you are. So was
like I'm in the right path. This is why I do the work that I do. Respect what you're doing and be like, I want to continue doing this for moments like this.
It's always beautiful to see people when they want to know more about themselves. Most people think that psychology is, you'll be able to read people's minds. They are not aware of it, but you will see that twinkle in their eye when they want to learn about themselves. When I was young and when I used to tell people that I'm studying psychology, they would be like, can you tell me what's in my mind? And they would be like babies.
Yeah.
They would have
innocent.
Because people want to know about themselves.
Yeah.
And it is not about the kind of question that they have asked.
Yeah.
But what was the intention of that question? They wanted to know about themselves.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes me do it. So even when there was this phase when I was not working as one, I was still backstage doing it. I was still somewhere associated with, what I love doing.
Yeah.
Maybe I was putting up content, words, or whatever it was.
Yeah. And the work that you do, sometimes I can imagine it gets very difficult. Like, I'm talking to you, and there are some things where I feel a bit shook. I'm like, I don't have these conversations on a daily basis. But for you, you probably have conversations like this on a daily basis when you're working with people. How do you take care of your mental health? What are some things that help you maintain your mental health without these things affecting you?
It obviously affects me when you hear people talking about their issues. It obviously drains me, but at the end of the day, I think a big um, what's the word? A big support that I can rely on, where I don't have to explain myself why I am feeling this way. I think goes to my husband, where he would know that it might have been a very draining meeting. He would probably take care of the rest of the day for me. I don't have to explain things. I don't have to say a word. Um, I have learned that being grateful also helps.
Yeah.
Talking about what's going in your mind when it is too much helps. So, to answer your question, I think these two things, being grateful, and when it gets too difficult, speak about it. And thankfully, I have people who really actively listen to what I'm saying or how I'm feeling, because and this is one of the most beautiful things that I have learned from him is, he would always ask, how are you feeling? Yeah, he would always ask, and I can see it in him, in him, that he genuinely wants to know how I'm feeling. He would never ask, how are you? He would always ask, how are you feeling? And I think this is what I have also learned from him. How are you feeling? And he wouldn't just ask to me. He would ask even when he is talking to his mom or his brother or his friend, how are you feeling about it? When people talk about their problems to him, he would always ask, how are you feeling about it? Are you okay?
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a sign of a person who really cares and really wants to know.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Um, so what are some things that you're looking forward to, say, in the next 5 years?
Oh my God. um, 5 years is a long time, man.
Yeah.
Chill.
Chill.
Yeah. Let's talk about the next 5 months.
Okay, let's talk about the next 5 months.
To get my degree.
Yeah. It's almost here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a few more work that I need to show. Yeah.
Last question related to your work. What are some things that you hope people keep in mind related to addiction or related to recovery? Like, if they know someone or if they are someone, what are some things that you wish people know?
That I understand it's a very difficult topic to talk about. But people who are around the person who is going through addiction, people around them should understand that it is not his or her fault. It's not their fault. They are a victim of addiction. something has happened that has led them to be what they are doing now. To what's happening to them, it's not their fault. It would be nice of the people around them, parents or partners or friends or siblings, people at work, people who are around them. It would be nice if you can read up a little more about addiction, and that recovery is possible. And recovery does not take place inside the house. There is help available. Ask for help. It is absolutely okay for you to not know too much about addiction, but then there are people and places where you can go to. Reach out to them. Ask for help. And it's only by communication and talking that we can break the stigma. That's the only way stigma will be broken.
Address it.
Yeah, speak about it, talk to other people about it, reach out for help. Of course, the person who is going through, they might not know what to do because their mind is not in that state. But people around them, their minds are working well, right? At least they can ask for help. And understand, very very important, understand that they are only a victim of addiction.
Got you.
Nobody wants to ruin their lives by themselves. Nobody wants to do it.
Yeah. And there is a solution no matter how hard it gets.
Absolutely. There is an answer to everything.
Yeah.
If the person is going through some unresolved stress, unresolved trauma that we are unaware of. Maybe it would be nice if you can, let's go and solve that problem first.
Yeah.
Addiction is just a part of the trauma. We need to fix that trauma first. Addiction will be, वो अपने आप ही ठीक हो जाएगा.
It'll
hopefully.
follow it. It'll
पहले trauma को we need to
address.
get to the roots and see what went wrong.
Look, Shinasa, I have had such a wonderful time talking with you. You are such a passionate person and you do things with all your heart. So kudos to you for working in this field and creating such significant impact in people's lives. And kudos to all the people who work in healthcare and create such impact in people's lives, although it's not a topic that still is not openly discussed. So thank you so much for sharing all this.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for just doing what you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Moving on to the last part of our conversation, I have a quick rapid fire for you. Are you ready for it?
Okay. Feels like I'm at coffee with Sai. Okay.
Okay. What's your go-to grounding ritual after a long day of work?
How can this be rapid fire? People need time to think.
What is that one thing I do? Like for me, I know it's watching TV or meditating for a bit.
See, I don't mean to sound too cliche, but I think it's my husband.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, that is so sweet.
Yeah.
What is one myth about mental health that you wish would disappear?
That you do not need to be crazy, or you do not need to wait till you break down to go and see a therapist. You can see a therapist even if you're not feeling not okay. Even if you're okay, you can still go and see a therapist, and nobody's crazy.
And okay, you told me earlier that you were hoping we talk about food as well.
Yeah, Arey, we did not touch that topic. Oh.
We'll talk about it a little bit. So tell me, if you wanted to cook something after a day's work, what would you cook? Like, what's your comfort meal that you would make first thing?
So I'm sure this aligns with a lot of places in and around India. But we have something called aloo pitika, which is...
I know aloo pitika.
Yeah.
Oh, yum. Yeah.
So that's basically boiled mashed potato with a few smoked red chilies, green chilies, coriander, and onions,
Yeah, I'm
and
salivating.
raw mustard oil.
Mm.
I think. Oh yeah. So yeah, that bhat, dal,
Yeah.
and a slice of lemon,
Yum.
some bhujolokia pickle,
Mm. I've tasted
and
all of these thanks to you.
yeah, and I think yeah,
That's a
and I think
comfort meal.
on a hot day it would be sour fish curry,
Okay.
the way Assamese people make it.
Yum, yum. Okay. What is your death row meal? Is it the same?
What's death row meal?
Like the one thing you want to eat before you die?
Amma's biryani. The way my amma makes it, it's amazing. It's death. Oh God, it's so good.
Death by biryani.
Yeah. Death by biryani.
Uh, a South Asian woman who inspires you.
Amma, any day.
Hmm. If you could chat with any person on this earth, preferably like a celebrity, about their mental health, who would it be?
Only a well-known person, or
Yeah,
it could.
someone that everyone, I mean, some most people would know. Like, like this question is a equivalent of who's your celebrity dinner guest? Like, who do you want to know about?
Uh, can I say Modi? It would be very interesting to know what's up.
I
Yeah,
love that. Okay, I'm not going to go into that because then
yeah.
this will
Let's
be an
not.
hour-long conversation. Um, a book that changed your life.
Um, I think two books. Tuesdays with Mori and Rich Dad Poor Dad. I think
Hmm,
they were nice. Yeah.
beautiful. I've read Tuesdays with Maury. Um, Last question. This is kind of my favorite one as well. When I was a kid, people always used to ask me, Sai, what do you want to be when you grow up? And people suddenly stopped asking me that question, and it annoys me. So, Shinasa, what do you want to be when you grow up?
That's such a beautiful question. I want to be a very bold, happy, independent in almost most ways.
Mm,
Um, yeah, bold, happy, and independent.
beautiful. I love
Yeah,
that. Do you want to ask me anything?
yeah. Do we do it on camera?
Yeah.
How do you feel when you hear people, their lives, their stories?
Mm,
What goes into your head?
that's a very good question. I love it. I'm someone who can talk about childhood and people's lives, know their story, know their perspective, and I can sit and do that for hours. Um, and I've done this a few times, like now, like it's still very initial days of me doing a podcast, um, but I've been enjoying it so much. Like I feel like on the surface we're all very alike, and then I start asking questions, and there's so many stories and details that come up. And I'm like, if I hadn't done this podcast, I would have never known this detail, this tiny little detail about your childhood that maybe you and two, three other people know. I know it because I spoke to you on this podcast. And I love that. I love knowing those things. I don't know, it tickles my brain. I love it.
Has it like what has uh let me frame this in my head. Because I'm sure you have done a few more of these,
Mm-hmm.
right? What has stuck with you the most? Like, I don't want you to name anybody, but what
Yeah.
has stuck with you through
Mm,
these interviews?
it's very close to what you were saying earlier. People really like to know who they are, right? And I feel like some questions make them think about it. And you can see that when they're answering the question
Yeah.
because they're literally going into different parts of their brain, picking up things about their childhood. And they're like, it's a 90-minute conversation, 2-hour conversation, but there's not enough time to say everything. But I see that they're trying to bring these stories so they can share it with people. I'm the same. Like, I love telling people stories about my childhood because it's such a significant part of my life. So, what really stays with me is what are some things that are important to people, and it's different things for everyone. Um, for some people, it's food, for some people, it's family, for some people, it's something else. I think that's what stays with me the most, the kind of things they are willing to share with me.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And was there anything that you think you could have asked better?
All the time. Yeah. I feel like sometimes I go back and rewatch things and I'm like, oh my God, this is a great follow up question. I can't believe I didn't ask, you know?
Oh.
And I'm like, so if someone who's watching this will have this question. Uh, but I guess that comes with time. When I've like interviewed many people, I will frame my questions better. I
Hmm.
will know where I want to take the conversation because honestly, this is loads of learning for me as well,
Hmm.
from the tech stuff to the conversation itself. Because I don't have any journalistic background, I don't have any writing background. I only have curiosity. I come and sit here from that space in my head. Um, so I feel like that will happen for a while. Maybe it'll happen for a long time,
Hmm.
but I think it'll get better. Um, where I'm like, I could have
Hmm.
asked a better question.
What clicked? Like, how did they develop?
Mm,
Roots, hands, and heart.
so I remember I was in a train in India. It's so random because I've tried to do a podcast multiple times because I like this. I like sitting and talking with people. I like being in front of camera, honestly. Like, I have an acting background and I really
You
enjoy.
do?
I do. I do, like,
Oh
for
my.
a few
Oh.
years in, like, when I was in India, I have like a theater background. Um, so I've been like struggling to figure out where I see myself as an actor or someone who's in front of camera, not as an actor, but uh, doing podcasts. I've always wanted to do a travel show of my own, like when
That's
I was a
so
kid.
cool.
It's so many things.
Yeah.
And then even with the podcast, I think I was really struggling to like pick a topic
Hmm.
which connects with who I am. And then suddenly, like, it's so crazy. I was in the train in India. I was laying down, and the three words just came to me: roots, hands, and hearts. And I'm like, what? Where did that come from? And I
Hmm.
was thinking about it, and I'm not even kidding. I was so tired. I was almost about to fall asleep. I removed my phone and I made notes, like tuck, 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 tuck. And my husband was sleeping below, and I kept telling him, "Oh my God, I'm so tired. As soon as I get in, I'll sleep." And then he sees light, and he's like, "Hello, you wanted to sleep?" I'm like, "2 minutes. I need to write down something." And this is my phone notes, random thoughts from everywhere written down. And most times, what happens is I go back to these notes and I'm like, this makes no sense. This is stupid.
Hmm.
And then it just fizzles out. But this thing, I looked at it a few times after that and I'm like, this is it. This is what I want to talk about. I want to talk to people about their roots and see how their roots has influenced them to do what they do right now. And I feel like there is always a connection, you
Hmm.
know and also in a city like London, I feel like there are very few cities in the world where there is this level of diversity,
Hmm.
you know
True.
London is one of them, New York is one of them, but if I see more locally, I feel like Bangalore is one of them because people are literally coming to Bangalore from different parts of the world.
True.
So I was like, I'm in one such city, and nothing better than talking to people about their roots and then seeing how they are doing work related to their roots where they are. So yeah, that's a long answer to your very.
But you I'm assuming I might be wrong. You might have interviewed people who are mostly from the food background.
Yeah, so far,
Yeah.
yes.
But then, like, what led you to interview me? I do not come from that specific field.
Yeah.
What led you to interview me?
So with Roots, Hands and Hearts, I'm not going to talk to people only in the food space. I'm going to talk to anybody who is working in a city that's not their own, but doing work that somehow gives back to their roots, right? Your research is basically you helping the ethnic minorities in UK, helping them with mental health. So that's you giving back to your roots, because your roots is what you relate with the most. So it makes sense for you to work in that field and contribute in that field. So without a doubt, you're one of the best guests for a conversation like this. My goal is to have people who do like a wide variety of things. I have an interview coming up with a DJ.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
cool.
They play Indian music in clubs in London. um, I also have a conversation scheduled with a person who runs a sari club, which I think you will really like, in London. So, a bunch of women who wear saris and drink tea and eat snacks and gossip. Perfect.
I think we should also be a part of that group
Yeah,
one day.
yeah, let's
Hmm.
go. So, yeah, that's why I was like,
Hmm.
I have to talk to Shinasa, because the first time we met, which was a little over a year ago,
Hmm.
you were telling me about your research, and I'm like, that's incredible. Like, I want to know a lot about it. And I feel like every time we meet, we chat about it a little bit,
Hmm.
but I wouldn't have been able to go into such detail. So I'm so glad
I'm
we
so
did
glad you
this.
did this, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Sai, I don't know, there's something in you that attracts me.
Aw.
Is it your vibe or your work or your words or just you? And
Aw,
I
you're
know
very
there have been
kind.
times where, where it's mostly when our husbands are not around. And
Yeah.
I think that's when we have such heart to heart talks.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember, like, even now when these guys were there, I was like, get out.
Yeah,
Get out. We
okay.
need to sit
Yeah.
down and talk, because I know I can connect with you one on one
Yeah.
only when nobody else is around. So I
Yeah.
really appreciate that about you.
Yeah. So
Um,
when there are people and our husbands and other people are around, we'll talk bullshit. We'll talk
yeah.
all sorts of nonsense and
Yeah,
crap.
yeah,
But
yeah.
that heart to heart talk happens only when
Yeah.
there's nobody around.
Yeah.
And I remember even when there are people, we went inside that
Inside,
room
yeah.
to talk. Oh, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I could really connect with you, Sai, on
Yeah.
so many levels.
Yeah. Same here. Same here. And you were so honest and open and vulnerable, and I appreciate you for that. Thank you.
Yeah, it's just being human, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. I love this.
Yeah.
Thank you, Shinasa. Thank you for
Oh,
your
thank you,
time on
Sai.
a Saturday evening.
Thank
Um,
you.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Really,
you.
thank you.